myself, Bindu Roy, I extend my hearty welcome to you all in 3 days teacher training program organized by the College IQACCL on the theme Enhancing the Teaching Learning Process. The motive of this program is to improve and enhance the quality of teaching and learning environment. There are three speakers, keynote speakers, who will give their invaluable inputs in different topics on the different topics in 3 consecutive days. Today, Professor Ravinder Vinayak, Dr. Ravinder Vinayak, the former head and dean, Department of Commerce from MDU Rohtak, will deliver his insights on the topic faculty empowerment through research orientation. So now I invite the IQAC coordinator, Mr. Mukesh Bansal sir, to invite our resource person for today's session. So mic over to Bansal sir.
Thank you, Bindu madam. Respected Dr. Ravinder Vinayak ji, former head and dean, Department of Commerce, MD University, Rohtak. Respected Dr. Savita Bhagat ji, officiating principal, DAV Centenary College, Faridabad. Respected all the members of IQAC of DAV College, Faridabad. Respected all senior staff members and dear participants. Today is the first day of teacher training program under the aegis of IQAC of DAV College. Today, our resource person is Dr. Ravinder Vinayak ji, who is former head and dean, Department of Commerce, MDU Rohtak. He is in fact our mentor and our guide. He is a philosopher, genius, and a great personality, and we can say a well-known international figure in the field of commerce and research work. He has published uncounted research papers in national and international journals. He has guided so many researchers. He has not only organized many seminars, workshops in university, but so many colleges and universities have conducted various conferences and workshops under his guidance and kind leadership. He has a vast experience in the field of research. Sir, in fact, you have trained so many trainers who are providing training to faculty members of various colleges and universities. Sir, I request you to kindly deliver a talk on faculty empowerment through research orientation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mukesh Bansal ji. I am extremely thankful to Honorable Principal Dr. Savita Bhagat and all the faculty members for having given me an opportunity to interact with my fellow colleagues of DAV Centenary College, Faridabad. I am associated with the college for more than 3 decades, and I consider it as my second home because whenever I come to DAV Centenary College, Faridabad, I'm always accorded a very warm welcome, and I treat all the faculty members as my own family here. So it is an extended family to whom I'm interacting with. Well, friends, the 3 or 4 days back, I received a call from Ms. Bindu Roy asking me to interact with the faculty on some topic related to capacity building. I said it would be my pleasure. And then day before yesterday, she said, okay, we have 3 series, in the series, we have 3 lectures. And let the first lecture be on faculty empowerment. Well, I chose the topic faculty empowerment through research orientation. Well, friends, it is very important for all of us who are working in any educational institution to create an ecosystem for faculty empowerment and research. By the ecosystem, we mean that such type of systems be created within the organization. Am I audible properly?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. By creating an ecosystem, it is the responsibility not only of the administration to provide a system for faculty development or faculty empowerment and for research, but it is the responsibility equally of the faculty also to respond to the requirements of the institution and respond to the requirements of the stakeholders. So it is very important that we create such a system, such an ecosystem within the organization that we feel empowered. Empowerment is not something which is given by someone else to you. You become empowered with the knowledge which you have. When we are talking about any educational system, or when we are talking about the teaching learning system in the organization or learning management system in the organization, the empowerment of the faculty is there if the faculty is knowledgeable, if the faculty is aware of the latest developments which are taking place in the environment. Take, for instance, the case of COVID-19, which has completely changed the scenario in which we are operating. From offline face-to-face education, whether it is school education, primary education, or it is secondary education, or education at the university or college level, higher education, we have been encountered with a peculiar situation where social distancing has become imperative, and it is important to ensure the hygiene, the safety of the people. So we switched over to online system. We developed the online lectures. A reservoir of online resources was developed by the faculty members. So responding to any environmental change is very important. And it is the environment we know is always dynamic. It keeps on changing. You are never operating in a static environment. So the requirements of the teachers, they keep on changing. In today's scenario, the particularly after the uh, growth and development in the information and communication technology, we have seen a sea change in the systems of all the organizations, whether they are service organization, they are manufacturing organization, or they are dealing with the supply chain management, or they are dealing with the educational system. So we have seen a tremendous shift in the systems in which we are operating because of the developments and growth in the information and communication technology. So information and communication technology has been one of the biggest driver of change in almost all the walks of life. And it has become imperative for faculty also to respond to this particular change which we see in it. So we are equally responsible for that, for creating an ecosystem in the organization wherein a research climate is created, because teaching and research, they are complementary with each other. If you want to be a good teacher, you have to be a good researcher, because your students are also equally empowered to for an access to the information because of the development and growth in the information and communication technology. They know from where they can access the information. For example, if you are delivering a lecture on monetary policy and you are explaining to them the bank rate, the repo rate, and telling them that the bank rate, which has been announced by the Reserve Bank of India presently, is, say, for example, 4.5%. Simply on the click of mouse or by tapping their mobile, they can access the information or the website of the Reserve Bank of India in order to get the latest information on the bank rate or the repo rate or any other announcement, policy announcements which are made by the Reserve Bank of India. So friends, if there is any deviation on what you are teaching and what the latest policy of RBI says, The students have an access to that particular information, and they can point out to you that, sorry, madam, sorry, sir, only in the morning, the new announcement has come from the Reserve Bank, and it is not 4.5%, it is 4.25%. So students are also very much empowered because of access to the information. So they know what are the latest developments which are taking place. Unfortunately, the focus of teaching learning management in Indian educational system, in the colleges and universities, both, is on conceptual learning of the students, not on the application of the concepts. We teach them the concept, we teach them the theoretical concept, and the focus on the actual application of those concepts, on critical thinking, on evaluation of the information, that is lacking in the Indian educational system. And that is why the students, after acquiring a degree from the college or from a university, they are not absorbed in by the business. There is first-class graduate, large number of first-class graduates who are seeking employment, and the employer having vacancy positions in the organization, and he is not finding those students with first-class degrees in various disciplines to meet the requirements of the industrial organization or of the service organization or of that particular business, and hence he is unable to make a selection out of the available resource, human resource, which is there in the country. So there is a contradiction between what are the requirements of the industry or of the business or of the society, and what kind of students we are, the kind of output of the students which we are giving from the educational institution. So it is very important for us to create such kind of human resource through our teaching, which is critical thinker, who are able to make an evaluation of the information, analyze that particular information, and apply those concepts which are being taught to them. So for that particular purpose, the orientation of the teachers have to be research-oriented, critical and analytical thinking, and interpretation of various facts and figures or developments which are taking place in the society. So teaching and research, they are complementary to each other. Now those days are gone when we say that there are two classes of faculties which are operating. One is good researcher, the other is good teacher. So that kind of distinction is over now. If you want to be a good teacher, you have to be a good researcher. So these are complementary to each other. So what kind of research orientation you need to have in the system is, just a minute, let me have the full access. Yes. Now, research is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing information, that is data, in order to increase our understanding of the phenomenon about which we are concerned or interested. It is very important that to understand one thing, that research is a process, and research process is a systematic process. Process of what? Collecting information, analyzing that particular information, so that we are able to develop our understanding of any phenomenon or anything about which we are concerned or about which we are interested. So that is the research process. These are the systematic steps which we take in the research process, starting with selection of topic, reviewing the literature, development of theoretical and conceptual framework, clarification of research questions or hypotheses. These four steps in the research process, they are interdependent on each other. We keep on moving forward and backward in order to fine-tune the topic of our research. The research topic helps us in finding out the review of literature. On the basis of the review of literature, we keep on fine-tuning our research topic. On the basis of the review of literature, we are able to understand that what are the theoretical and conceptual developments, what is the theory, is there any contradiction in the theory, whether some parts of that theory or model, they remain unexplained. So we again refer back to review of literature and selection of the topic. And finally, when we develop our research question, after having identified the research problem, we make or articulate our research question or develop the research hypothesis. Again, we refer to our topic which we have selected, that is there any necessity to further fine tune the topic which we have selected. So these four steps, that is selection of topic, review of literature, development of conceptual model or theoretical model, and articulating the research question or articulating the research hypothesis, they are interdependent on each other. At each stage, we move forward and backward. Rest of the steps we keep on moving forward. That is research on the basis of the research problem or the hypothesis which we have developed. We identify our research design, whether it is experimental, so on and so forth. What kind of data is required in order to attain the research objectives which we have identified, whether the data, primary data is required or secondary data is required. So the requirements of the data, that depends upon the objectives which we have articulated. So after having collected the data, we analyze the data. Data analysis is done these days with the help of statistical softwares which are available in large numbers in the market, both in the paid form as well as in the unpaid form, or free databases are also available. So we use the database, we use those tools and techniques of data analysis or softwares depending upon the objectives of the research and the nature of the data. कई बार गलती रिसर्चर्स आमतौर पर ये करते हैं कि उन्होंने कोई फैंसी टेक्निक ऑफ एनालिसिस सुन ली कि ये एनालिसिस की टेक्निक हम अडॉप्ट करेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल, उन्होंने सुन लिया कि स्ट्रक्चर इक्वेशन मॉडलिंग आजकल बहुत यूज हो रही है, तो सेम टेक्निक को हमने यूज करना है, चाहे वो आपकी रिसर्च की रिक्वायरमेंट्स है या नहीं है. सो यूजिंग द टेक्निक ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इट बीइंग फैंसी or a new technique is a wrong methodology. Which technique should be used for data analysis? That depends upon the nature of objectives which you have and the nature of data which you have collected. So on the basis of that, decision is taken that which particular analytical tool is to be used. After doing the data analysis, we derive our conclusions. We interpret that data, derive our conclusions, and give the suggestions and give the report on that particular thesis. So these are the systematic steps which we are supposed to adopt in the research process. आमतौर पर ये देखा जाता है कि कुछ researchers backward चलते हैं कि they know that these are the conclusions which they want to design, which they want to derive. On the basis of that, they identify their or write down their research objectives and they move backward and finally select the topic. That is a wrong method of doing research. So these are the systematic, in the systematic manner, you have to move forward in order to have the research. The first stage is defining the research problem. Research problem refers to some difficulty or dilemma in the decision that needs to be examined. How we are able to identify the research problem? We are able to identify the research problem on the basis of extensive reading, which we keep on doing, of the researches which have been done, of literature which is available, or observing, on the basis of observing few phenomena, something which we see in the society. On the basis of observation also, we can identify a problem. Research problem can be a result of, or it can emerge as a byproduct of some research which has already been carried out, that you are associated with or confronted with a problem, and from that particular problem, another problem has emerged as a byproduct. So that needs further examination. You have experienced something on the basis of your personal experiences or on the basis of the experiences of the other persons. You can also help in, it can also help in identification of the research problems with the help of discussions, questioning, and creative thinking. All these are the methods by way of which we are able to identify the research problems. Sources of research problem can broadly be classified into 4 P's: people, problem, program, and phenomenon. These are the 4 P's which can be treated as the sources of research problem. The first P is people. People can be individuals, they can be organizations, they can be groups, they can be community. The problems may relate to the individuals, the problems may relate to the organizations, problems may relate to a group within the organization, problems may relate to the communities in which we are living. So they encounter certain problems which can become researchable problems. So individuals, organizations, groups, and communities, they as people are important sources of research problem. Observing them, talking to them, experiencing with them can give rise to, or we can have a knowledge about the research problem in that case. Second is the problem itself. Problem may emerge from certain issues, certain situations, certain associations. Like for example, DAV College may have a collaboration or memorandum of understanding with some other organization for promoting research or to have collaborative research. But this association may result into certain kind of problems. So associations, situations, the issues, needs, or the profiles, they may result in certain problems. Then third is P is program. We develop certain programs for the purpose of implementation. Country has developed various programs. It may be minimum economic program. It could be a program related to emancipation of poverty or removal of poverty. It could be Manrega program. So these programs, the structure of these programs, the results of or the outcomes of these programs, the attributes of these programs, or the level of satisfaction which you derive from the implementation of the problem, these programs, or dissatisfaction which is encountered from the implementation of these programs, they may result into various research problems. And fourth is phenomenon. Any phenomenon which has occurred, like for example, this pandemic, COVID-19, is a phenomenon. Cause and effect of this particular phenomenon or event study, any event which has occurred, like for example, Commonwealth Games were held in the country or Olympic is held in a particular country, that particular event may give rise to many opportunities, and those opportunities may be of researchable nature. So these events, the cause and effect of various phenomena, they can give rise to various the researchable problems. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
मेरी समझ आ रहा है जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ?
हाँ जी सर, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल आ रहा है सर।
इनफैक्ट यही प्रॉब्लम है ऑनलाइन टीचिंग में और फेस टू फेस डिस्कशंस में।
So you are audible.
Because when there is a face to face teaching, you see the faces.
Yeah.
And in case of online teaching, I'm seeing only my screen, and as if you are talking to a wall. तो वो मजा नहीं आता इस चीज में। आई थॉट कि अब कोरोना थोड़ा सा डिफ्यूज हो गया है तो शायद मैं फिजिकल लेक्चर जाके डीएवी कॉलेज में दे पाता, तो दैट वुड हैव बीन वंडरफुल। Maybe in near future that will be possible. Continuing now. So selection of research problem depends upon number one, the people, and two, your subject area. Your subject area is defined by the problems, programs, and phenomena. The remaining three P's, They are your subject area, whether you belong to economics, you belong to sociology, you belong to political science or history, commerce and management. So these problems, programs and phenomena, whether they are in physical sciences or it is in social sciences, in interaction with the people, they give rise to the research problem. The selection of research problem besides these four P's is also dependent upon internal factors as well as external factors. Internal factors means those factors which are personal to a researcher, like for example, the interest of the researcher, the expertise which the researcher has, the time and money which is available to the researcher. These are the very important factors which will help you in decision of selection of the research problem. Similarly, external factors, that is relevance of the topic which you have selected for research, whether it is relevant to the society requirements or not, whether it is relevant or irrelevant, that is another factor. Whether data is available in that particular area which you want to research, whether the concepts which you have developed on which you have to carry out the research, they are measurable or not. So measurability of the concepts, availability of the data, and relevance of the domain of research, they are important external factors which limit the which impose restrictions on the research itself. So population plus three P's pertaining to problem, program, phenomenon, which are the subject area, they join along with the external and internal factors, they help us in identification the research problem. Well, friends, Indian Council of Social Science Research has also identified some broader areas of research. These are the important areas if you are applying for research grant under the scheme of IMPRESS, that is Impactful Policy in Social Sciences, to the Indian Council of Social Science Research, then your topic must be out of these areas which have been identified by ICSSR. I'll read out for your benefit: state and democracy, urban transformation, media, culture, and society. Now, this is an important area of research at present. Like, for example, the belief among the people is that media these days has been captured by a political party and is only showing only those kind of news which suits to the requirements of the political party. It is unbiased. It is not unbiased media. It is a biased media. So research in this particular area, the impact of media on culture, the impact of media on society, they are important areas of research. Employment skills and rural transformation. Skill development, ये हमारा वैसे भी एक important program है government of India का. It's a flagship program which has been implemented by the government of India, and even universities for skill transformation and developments, they have been set up in the various part of the countries, and skill enhancement programs. Like for example, this lecture has been arranged by your college so as to empower the teachers with the skills and reskill them, train them, retrain them in the new developments which are taking place in the society in a particular domain area. So employment skills and rural transformation is another important area. Governance at the national level, governance at the corporate level, innovation and public policy, another important area. Growth, political growth, social growth, economic growth, macro trade, economic policy is another important area. Agriculture and rural development, it continues to be an important area of the government of India because of the fact that almost 70% of Indian population is rural-based population and is dependent on agriculture. Health and environment is another important area. Environment particularly, both health of course and environment particularly. That is why there is a lot of focus on sustainable development, because growth and development at the cost of the environment is not a good growth. So growth has to be sustainable so that we take advantage of the resources which are available, or we make use of the resources of the natural resources of the country or of the Mother Earth only to the extent which is absolutely desirable for us, so that we are able to leave for the future generation also, because future generations have equal right on the resources which are available now. Unfortunately, we have been over exploiting the resources and degrading the environment, which is not healthy, which is not good for the sustainable development of any system or ecosystem. Science and education is another important area. Social media and technology is another area. Politics, law, and economics. So these are the broader areas which have been identified by the social sciences, the Indian Council of Social Science and Research. So my request to all the faculty members, particularly those who are permanent and those who belong to commerce, management, and other domain of social sciences, that they must submit their projects. Rejection of a project in 1 year doesn't mean that your project would be rejected next year also. So it should not dissuade you, but apply for funding. These are the funding agencies. Unfortunately, UGC has stopped major and minor research projects, funding of minor and major research projects for the last 2 or 3 years. Even those projects which were sanctioned earlier, the funds are not coming to them because the government is in dilemma whether to continue with the UGC or to have a higher education council in the country. So that dilemma is still going on. So there is a confusion at the policy level in the government about the continuation of UGC in the present form, or it should move on to another form. So these are some of the important areas. I would like to give one more information to all the honorable faculty members, that these days the focus is on collaborative research. Those days are gone when we used to have individual research. Now the ICSSR under the IMPRESS program also, they are looking for collaborative research. Research which is carried out, for example, by faculty member of commerce and management and faculty member of psychology, because concepts of management, concepts of psychology, they are implemented in the real life situation by the management people. So they can have a collaborative research. Political science people and management people can have a collaborative research. Sociology and economics people, they can have a collaborative research. Computer science and economics people can have a collaborative research. So these are the days of collaboration. So I would urge upon each one of you to identify those research areas where you can have collaborative research and can move ahead with the team spirit and team identification. So the research environment presently, it is a VUCA word, VUCA. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. The whole research world is volatile. It is uncertain. It is complex. It is ambiguous. Volatility means fluctuations, heavy fluctuations. For example, take the case of stock exchanges. Take the case of commodity exchanges. Take the case of bullion exchange. There are volatility in those. Even in the environment, there is volatility. Whether these continuous fluctuations and heavy fluctuations, they make the whole world of research very uncertain. When you identify a research problem and you move forward, whether you will be able to get a positive result or positive outcome of your research, you are not known. Take, for example, the case of COVID-19. Many of the research organizations, they were associated with development of vaccine for the COVID-19, for this particular pandemic, for this particular virus. So there, when you start developing a particular vaccine, you are not sure whether you will be able, what would be the end result of that. Uh, that makes the whole environment in which you are operating a very uncertain environment. Uh, all the sectors of the economy, they are integrated. Economic development is dependent on the political relations which you have with your neighbors or rest of the world. It is also dependent upon the social fabric of the country. So the whole environment, that is very complex in nature and can become ambiguous also. It is hazy. It is not very clear. You cannot clearly see that. So along with the research work, or being a VUCA word, comprising of volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, outside factors, they also create the research environment. For example, critical thinking. What kind of thought process is going on? How you critically analyze the environment in which you are operating. Creativity, room for creativity is there or not? Room for collaboration, about which I just now talked about, whether that room is available there or not. Learning agility is there among the people, whether they have quest for learning, whether they are agile for learning or not. Risk taking qualities, they are there among the people who want to have solution for the existing problems or not. Communication, whether they are able to communicate about their research findings and the developments which are taking place in the research with the rest of the world or not. So that creates the whole environment in which we are operating. And this kind of research environment, irrespective of the field where you are working, whether you are in the discipline of physical sciences, social sciences, computer science, so on and so forth, the research environment remains same. Like I gave you few topics in my previous uh, slide, that these are the areas which have been identified by ICSSR. Similarly, there could be areas which have been identified by the Department of Science and Technology. They can refer to those areas: science people, physics people, chemistry people, biology, botany, zoology. They can refer to their discipline areas, that what kind of thrust area which has been identified for research by the parent organization of their particular discipline. So they can look into that also. Moving forward, since I belong to the discipline of commerce and management, there are I have identified few areas of research in the area of commerce and management. They can be in the area of finance. These are the broader areas: finance, marketing, human resource management, accounting, international business, entrepreneurship, so on and so forth. Similarly, in the area of economics, it can be public economics, it can be microeconomics, macroeconomics, so on and so forth. Similarly, in the area of computer science, it could be software development, hardware development, so on and so forth. Similarly, in the area of, say, literature, whether it is English literature or Hindi literature, it could be about the lives and the economic situation of the people in 19th century, or when Munshi Premchand was alive during his time, what kind of economic scenario was projected in the novels of Munshi Premchand, so on and so forth. You can see that the relevance of that particular area or domain in which you can move on in order to identify your research, broader research problem. So there are multiplicity of topics in the area of particularly commerce and management, like CRM, customer relationship management, media, sustainable development, e-banking, accountability, e-business, EHRM, so on and so forth. These are some of the areas in which you can carry out research. I have identified few topics simply to give you an idea whether the formulation of a research topic is good or it is bad. For example, the first topic is analytical study of organized retailing in India with special reference to Agra region. Many times we get research thesis for evaluation of these kind of topics. Analytical study of any area, say for example, in this organized retailing in India with special reference to Agra region. Now, do you think that Agra region will have some different organized retailing model than that of the rest of India? What would be the utility of research at the national level or at the international level? Nothing. So for getting PhD, maybe it has helped you in getting the degree, but so far as the utility of this particular topic is concerned, I do not find such kind of topics which are area specific at a very, from Agra region, you are deriving the conclusions of the rest of the country. Is Agra region representing the whole of the country? The answer is no. It cannot represent the whole of the country. So how can you, with the help of a micro study, can analyze at the national level? So such type of topics, they should be avoided. An investigation of drivers of fashion consciousness and status consumption among millennials in India. Now, millennials is a new generation people, those who are in their 20s or at this point in time. What you are investigating the drivers. What are the factors which are affecting fashion consciousness and status consumption? So it is a sizable section of the society about which the latest trends of fashion and their status consumption behavior, that is what you are analyzing. So this is a good researchable area which is relevant to the requirements of the society. Examine the hedging effectiveness of equity future contracts. Evidence from National Stock Exchange of India. Now, National Stock Exchange of India is one of the leading stock exchange of the country. So if you are examining a particular type of contracts, hedging is one of the most important economic safeguard tool which is used by the investors, particularly whether they are in the stock exchange, operating in the bullion market or in the commodity market. So their effectiveness, hedging contracts at National Stock Exchange, they represent the whole scenario of hedging contracts at the national level. It's a good topic again, relevant new type of topic. Impact of corporate governance practices on business performance of public, private and foreign banks in India. Now you see, governance issues have also been identified as important issues by the Indian Council of Social Sciences and Research. And corporate governance is one of the important areas, emerged the new area where research is being carried out. So it is relevant to the present day's requirement. Next topic is CSR, corporate social responsibility, communication intensity in developing and developed countries. Now that means CSR activities as reported in the annual reports or reported on the websites of the corporates, both belonging to developing countries and developed countries. But this is an important area. What kind of CSR activities which the organization is performing depends upon the identified activities where CSR investment can be made by the companies. Now it is mandatory for a company which is having output of more than 500 crore rupees or a profitability of beyond a particular threshold limit. They have to spend 2% of their annual profits for CSR activities, and only those activities which have been identified as CSR activities by the Government of India. So in that, how it is being communicated and reported, the reporting practices you are analyzing. Corporate social performance in India and its driver. So that is another important area, emerging area where you can carry out research. You can carry out the research in the area of corporate social performance and its relationship with the financial performance. In fact, there is a conflict. Few researches, they indicate that if the financial performance of a particular corporate house is good, their social performance will also be good. So they say that social performance is dependent on financial performance. But at the same time, there are also researches which say that financial performance is dependent on the social performance. So both the views are contradictory views. You can carry out your research in Indian system also, that whether corporate social performance is the cause dependent variable, or the which is the dependent and which is the independent, which affects the other. That is very important area in which you can carry out research. Another area is teacher behavior towards e-teaching, a critical analysis of university system in India, private universities or state universities you can carry out, particularly post-COVID-19 regime. Now, as I told you that this is going to be a very interesting study, whether students' behavior or teachers' behavior in online system of teaching. घर में अगर हम पेरेंट्स से बात करते हैं तो वो कहते हैं कि बच्चे मोबाइल, आज से 1 साल पहले हम बच्चों को डांटते थे कि मोबाइल ना पकड़ें, और अब हम उनको कहते हैं कि मोबाइल पकड़ो, अपना काम करो। अब वो पता नहीं कि मोबाइल पे क्या कर रहे हैं, वो पढ़ टीचिंग लर्निंग चल रही है या कुछ और देख रहे हैं, किसी और साइट पे विजिट कर रहे हैं। सो दिस काइंड ऑफ डायलेमा इज गोइंग ऑन अमंग द टीचर्स। सो उनका बिहेवियरल प्रॉब्लम्स टीचर्स में भी आ रही हैं, स्टूडेंट्स में भी आ रही हैं with these online methods. So you can carry out research in that particular area if some of you are interested. Analytical study of India's foreign trade during post and pre-reforms regime. So we had first wave of these trade reforms and second wave of trade reforms about 3 years ago. So before and after effect can be seen in the trade, particularly in the performance of the India's foreign trade in this particular year. Lastly, an empirical study of consumer behavior toward internet banking in Indian context. We know that we are moving toward digital economy, and digitalization of almost all the sections of the society is going on at the national level. But at the same time, the confidence of the people is not in the digital transactions because of the fear that there may be hacking of the sites, your accounts might be hacked. So their behavior is, they're not very confident about carrying out internet banking in the country. Like for example, I can give my own case also. I did not buy or did not get the credit card till 2 months ago. कि मेरे पास अगर पैसा होगा तो ही मैं खर्चूंगा, उधार लेके मैंने नहीं पैसा खर्चना. So I don't need a credit card. I always used a debit card. So it was only 2 months back that I got the credit card, but my behavior pattern continues to be same. I don't use it. वो क्रेडिट कार्ड इसलिए लेना पड़ा कि कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस आप थ्रू क्रेडिट कार्ड ही कर सकते हैं, डेबिट कार्ड पे नहीं कर सकते, या वो इजीली अवेलेबल है, कुछ आपको फैसिलिटीज मिल जाती हैं, डिस्काउंट्स मिल जाते हैं, so on and so forth, particularly to the frequent travelers who keep on traveling within the country and abroad also. So these are some of the important studies in which can be, ये एक glimpse सा मैंने आपको दिया है जिन एरियाज में आप रिसर्च कर सकते हो. I'm trying to broaden your mental horizon, your thought process, your thinking, critical thinking, activate that, for the purpose of identification of research problem. Next stage, dear friends, is review of literature. It is very important and one of the most neglected area of research is the review of literature. Review of literature, friends, is done in all the stages of research. जो मैंने research process की stages आपको बताई, identification of research topic से लेकर और conclusions writing तक, in each stage, the importance of review of literature is immense and is invariably neglected by the researcher, which is one of the most important weakness of the quality of research, particularly in Indian scenario. For identification of problem, the purpose for which review of literature is required, I have divided it into three parts: step of research process, purpose of review, and literature which is reviewed. Uh, in the identification of the problem in that particular stage of research problem, the purpose for which review of literature is required is to gain preliminary orientation and background knowledge, to gain up-to-date knowledge in that particular field, to know the work which has already been done on that particular area, in that particular area, to identify the research gaps, and to avoid duplication of research. For these particular purpose, 5 purposes, we have to carry out the research. And for each of these 5 purposes, the literature which needs to be reviewed is different, particularly encyclopedia and textbooks and reference books to gain the preliminary orientation, latest publication to gain the up-to-date knowledge in that particular field. For the purpose of work which has already been done, you can look to Shodh Ganga, ICSSR or a West Coast survey on the research area, to identify research gap, bibliography of doctoral dissertation, that is very much helpful for this particular purpose. In fact, ICSSR helps you in providing these services also, bibliography of a doctoral dissertation that can be provided on payment basis by the ICSSR, and it is available in almost all the area to avoid duplication thesis in the selected discipline. Particularly Shodh Ganga, refer to Shodh Ganga. On that you can know that which particular in your area, whether thesis has already been submitted in that area or not, so that duplication of research is avoided. Formulation of selected problem. When you have to articulate the selected problem, the purpose is to become familiar with appropriate methodology and research techniques which are relevant to that particular study. And for this particular purpose, previous studies in the field or journals or published and unpublished theses, they are reviewed for that particular. Research design formulation के लिए पर्पस होता है कि अपनी नॉलेज को या कॉन्सेप्ट्स को फाइन ट्यून करना, और जो टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स और कॉन्सेप्ट्स आपने आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं, whether they are measurable or not, and what kind of measurement techniques that can be required for that particular purpose. Also, you have to carry out the review of literature, and for that particular purpose, the literature which is reviewed is secondary data analysis or primary data collection, questionnaire design. On that you are reviewing कि लोगों ने अगर प्राइमरी डेटा कलेक्ट किया है तो टूल कौन सा यूज किया गया था, रिसर्च इंस्ट्रूमेंट कौन सा था, और उसका डिजाइन कैसे किया गया, कौन से कंस्ट्रक्ट्स यूज किए गए, कौन से वेरिएबल्स यूज किए गए, सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ, और उसको फिर आप आइडेंटिफाई करते हो. डेटा कलेक्शन का फील्ड वर्क करने के लिए यू डेवलप, द पर्पस इज टू डेवलप द आर्टिकुलेट डिजाइन, कि आप गूगल से भी क्वेश्चनेयर कर सकते हैं, टेलीफोन क्वेश्चनेयर या मेल क्वेश्चनेयर, या इंटरनेट को यूज करके क्वेश्चनेयर से डाटा कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. सिमिलरली डेटा प्रिपरेशन और एनालिसिस के लिए पर्पस ये होता है कि टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स कौन सी यूज करनी है. तो लोगों ने क्या यूज किए थे टूल्स एंड टेक्निक्स, और उनसे उनके क्या रिजल्ट्स आए. फॉर अगेन दैट यू हैव टू रेफर टू द रिसर्च methodology books and books which are associated with the descriptive analysis, discriminant analysis, so on and so forth. And lastly, report writing के वक्त फिर again आप रेफर करते हो जर्नल्स को, टेक्स्ट बुक को और रेफरेंस बुक्स को. आगे थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन करते वक्त मैं ये सारी चीज़ों को रिविजिट करूंगा फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर पर्पस. मैं एक बार होस्ट से पूछना चाहता हूं कि टाइम कितने बजे तक का है, सो दैट आई वाइंड अप विद इन दैट टाइम?
सर टाइम 2 o'clock तक का ही है।
ओके, 2 बजे तक है। चलो ठीक है, आई ट्राई टू वाइंड अप विद इन नेक्स्ट 5 to 10 minutes.
ओके सर।
Right. Now the sources of information जहाँ से हम information ले सकते हैं, they are the particularly in the area of commerce, management, economics, and other social sciences, working papers. These can be the working papers of IMF, working papers of any organization like Reserve Bank of India, नीति आयोग या प्लानिंग कमीशन जिसका पहले नाम था, उनके वर्किंग पेपर्स को, सेमिनार और कॉन्फ्रेंस पेपर्स को, डेटाबेसेस ऑफ जर्नल्स, वो दे आर द इम्पोर्टेंट सोर्सेज सेकेंडरी इंफॉर्मेशन के, पर्टिकुलरली रिपोर्ट्स एंड इकोनॉमिक डॉक्यूमेंट्स। फॉर एग्जांपल कॉन्फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन इंडस्ट्रीज की कोई रिपोर्ट आई है, फिक्की की कोई रिपोर्ट आई है, या रिपोर्ट्स इकोनॉमिक सर्वे गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उसकी कोई रिपोर्ट आई है, बैंकिंग रिपोर्ट ऑन बैंकिंग आरबीआई की वो रिपोर्ट आई है, बुक्स एंड न्यूज़पेपर्स, स्टैटिस्टिकल डेटाबेसेस। Statistical databases, particularly PROVES, is an important paid statistical database जो कि economics, commerce, management, geography, social sciences के different areas को database वो provide करता है। Electronic theses and encyclopedias, they are another important sources of information from where we can get these sources. सिमिलरली डेटाबेसेस फॉर रिसर्च पेपर्स जो है उनके भी डेटाबेसेस हैं हमारे पास अवेलेबल। दे कैन बी वर्ल्ड बैंक डेटाबेस, IMF वर्किंग पेपर्स, ICSSR ऑन इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक रिलेशंस, SSRN के सोशल साइंस रिसर्च नेटवर्क के डेटाबेसेस, नेशनल ब्यूरो ऑफ इकोनॉमिक रिसर्च, इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ स्टडीज इन इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट। So these are some of the important database of research papers जहाँ हम ये कर सकते हैं। Similarly, there are database of journals also, Science Direct, Gestor, Ingenta Connect, Blackwell, Emerald, Abacus, Sage, Taylor Francis, Springer, Project Muse, ProQuest. These are some of the important database of journals जिनको हम review of literature के लिए use कर सकते हैं। इसी तरह इलेक्ट्रॉनिक थीसिस और एनसाइक्लोपीडियाज के इंपॉर्टेंट डेटाबेस हैं शोध गंगा जो कि रिजर्वायर है इंडियन थीसिस के, शोध गंगोत्री इज रिजर्वायर है इंडियन रिसर्च इन प्रोग्रेस, जो प्रेजेंटली रिसर्च प्रोग्रेस में है उसको अगर चेक करना चाहे तो शोध गंगोत्री। सो शोध गंगा एंड शोध गंगोत्री, दे आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डेटाबेसेस फॉर इंडियंस पर्टिकुलरली in order to find out कि रिसर्च उन पर्टिकुलर एरियाज में कहाँ और कितनी हो चुकी है, और whether it is your work is a duplication or not. InflibNet का डेटाबेस है जो कि most of the libraries in the country they are connected with InflibNet, Bookshelf, Encarta, Britannica, Oxford Advanced Genie, ETT, Google Search. These are some of the important electronic theses and encyclopedias which are available to us. Quickly going through कि जब हम research methodology अपना fine tune करते हैं तो it begins with first of all articulating your research objectives. Based on the research objectives, you identify your data sources, whether data is of primary nature which has to be generated by you in order to meet the requirements of research objectives, or published data is already available on the basis of which you can meet the requirements of the research. So primary data required or secondary data required, that requirements is identified on the basis of your research objectives. On the basis of the data which has been selected or collected, you identify the data analysis or analytical techniques. What is going to be unit of analysis, individual है या national level पर, macro level पर आपने उसका analysis करना है, और tools of analysis क्या है। For example, if your objective is to identify the factors responsible for a particular thing, you do the factor analysis. इम्पैक्ट अगर आपने असेस करना है तो रिग्रेशन आप देखते हैं, रिलेशनशिप दो चीजों का देखना है तो आप कोरिलेशन देखते हैं, एसोसिएशंस चीजों की देखने हैं तो काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट आप यूज करते हैं. So depending upon the research objective, which particular tool of analysis is to be used, that is to be identified. And most important is identifying the limitations also. So research is a very vast field. It's impractical for anyone to carry out research in each and every aspect of a problem. So you draw your limitations, that which particular aspect of that particular problem, whether economic angle you are going to analyze, psychological angle you are going to analyze, social impact you are going to analyze, financial impact you are going to analyze. So draw the limitations. That is also very particular, very important for this particular. So these are the some of the important data analysis tools which you use, like SPSS, MOS, NVivo, R software, Excel, eViews, Stata, Minitab, some other important softwares they have come, particularly structure equation modeling ke liye, PLS software has come for SEM also, which is further development of MOS, on the basis of which that research was carried out. Gretel is another important non-paid software which is available for the purpose of software analysis. R is a non-paid software. So R Studio, Gretel, ये कुछ सॉफ्टवेयर हैं जो फ्री सॉफ्टवेयर्स अवेलेबल हैं और अच्छे रोबस्ट सॉफ्टवेयर्स हैं जिसकी बेसिस पर आप डाटा एनालिसिस अपना कर सकते हो. This particular report writing I'm skipping for some other part. So thank you very much. This is all from my side. Any questions, you are most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such a valuable and required information over the domain of research. Sir, two faculty members have a query. Can they ask, sir?
Sure, please.
So first, Shivam sir and Bharti Agrawal ma'am, they can put their question. Shivam sir. Dinesh sir, को unmute कर दीजिए please.
हाँ जी, you're most welcome. Please ask your questions.
दिनेश सर, शिवम सर को अनम्यूट कर दीजिए.
Shivam sir.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I think that replacing, like I have a question. If we replace the hard copy assignments with audio-visual assignments, I think the work can be done on higher order cognitive skills. Apart from this, we can also save trees, and it will be a positive step towards environment. What do you say about
मैं समझ नहीं पाया हूँ शिवम आपका क्वेश्चन, कुछ साउंड में प्रॉब्लम है. कैन यू रिपीट अगेन?
सर सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर हम लोग हार्ड कॉपी असाइनमेंट जो हम लोग फाइल्स कलेक्ट करते हैं बच्चों से जो वो चीटिंग करके लेके आते हैं, अगर उसको हम लोग रिप्लेस कर दें ऑडियो विजुअल असाइनमेंट्स के साथ, अगर हम लोग ऑडियो विजुअल असाइनमेंट्स ले, वीडियो लेक्चर्स ले उनसे, सो आई थिंक टीचर एंड स्टूडेंट्स कैन वर्क ऑन हायर ऑर्डर कॉग्निटिव स्किल्स.
Okay.
अभी क्या होता है, अभी हम लोग फाइल्स लेते हैं या आजकल.
Your question is not as in fact associated to my lecture. आप जनरल एक क्वेश्चन आपका प्रेजेंट एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि yes, this is an important problem which is being encountered by the present system, कि particularly questions आपने assignments उनको दी है और hard copy दे रहे हैं. You are saying that कि assignment rather than am I audible, Anjay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
कि उसको हार्ड कॉपी की बजाय अगर ऑडियो विजुअल पे असाइनमेंट्स ले लें तो वो बेटर है. यस, आई एग्री विद दैट. इनोवेशंस, यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द न्यू वेज एंड मीन्स. देखो, स्टूडेंट्स ने हर वो तरीका अपनाना है जहां वो बाईपास कर सके आपको और आपकी इंटेंशंस को. और आपने वो तरीका अडॉप्ट करना है जहां आप उनको ना करने दें. So you will have to keep on reinventing and re-innovating new ways and means by way of which you can make the whole system more robust. So this is like COVID is a new virus, and we do not know how it is behaving. The behavior pattern is unknown to us. Behavior pattern is unknown to the scientists also. Every time they keep on inventing new and more means in order to see for that. Similarly, in the present scenario of teaching learning situations, we have to find out the new ways by way of which the ailments of the system they can be plucked. So I agree with you what you are saying. You have to innovate and come up with the new ways and means. I agree. Yes, Anji.
Thank you so much, sir. Anyone have any questions? Hello, Bharti Agrawal, ma'am. She has raised her hand.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir, for such valuable information on the research process or other aspects of research. Sir, I want to know that, sir, आपने first objective जो first topic आपने हमें बताया था कि आगरा region जो आपने example दिया था, region को mention नहीं करना है title में, avoid करना है.
मैंने ये नहीं कहा कि मेंशन नहीं करना. मेरे कहने का मतलब था कि फॉर एग्जांपल एक छोटे से रीजन की आपने कोई स्टडी की, उसकी सोशल इंप्लीकेशन क्या है? What is the social implication of that? Can you say that results of Agra region they are applicable to the rest of the country? Is Agra region representative of the whole of India or not? If it is not, in that case there is some problem with that particular title which has been identified. So मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन ये था कि जब आप इस तरह के टॉपिक सिलेक्ट करते हैं जहां आप लिमिट कर देते हैं एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन पे या एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पे, तो वहां पर टाइटल में तो आप दे रहे हैं कि पूरे इंडिया का, और वहां उसको लिमिट कर रहे हैं. ये एमए के लिए, ये एमकॉम के लिए या एमबीए के लिए तो रिसर्च टॉपिक ठीक है डिसर्टेशन का, लेकिन पीएचडी लेवल की डिसर्टेशन का टॉपिक ये नहीं बनता है.
ओके सर, ठीक है सर. इट मींस सर हम इसको अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. जैसे वन ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्टिव अगर हम अपने रिसर्च का लेते हैं, कि हमने जो अपना ये टॉपिक अप्लाई किया है पर्टिकुलरली आगरा रीजन या दिल्ली एनसीआर में लिया है, इसको हम अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव में हम इसको मेंशन कर सकते हैं.
हाँ जी.
ओके, थैंक यू सर.
Thank you, sir. Anyone have any questions? So now I invite Dr. Archana Bhatia ma'am. Dinesh sir, ma'am is there.
Am I audible?
Okay.
Am I audible?
हाँ जी अर्चना जी बिल्कुल.
Yes ma'am, you are audible.
Ma'am, you're.
Okay, start करूँगी तो मैं.
Bhatia ma'am. Yes,
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
ma'am,
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Bindu ji? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, ji. Esteemed Professor Vinayak ji, respected Principal of the College, Dr. Savita Bhagat, and respected Coordinator of IQAC, Shri Mukesh Bansal ji. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, ये जो आज हमने ऑर्गेनाइज किया एफटीपी की सीरीज में पहला लेक्चर, दैट इज फैकल्टी एम्पावरमेंट थ्रू रिसर्च ओरिएंटेशन, ये ना केवल टॉपिक अच्छा है बल्कि टॉपिक को जो बताने वाले हमारे टीचर हैं, हमारे मेंटोर हैं, और यूं कहना चाहिए कि सर एक ट्रू सेंस में 21st सेंचुरी के टीचर की सारी छवि को परिलक्षित करते हैं. मुझे लगता है सर आपके इस टॉपिक को कहने से ये टॉपिक और भी ज्यादा सार्थक हो गया. मैं ये तो नहीं जानती कि लोग चाणक्य की या अरस्तु की बहुत तारीफ करते हैं कि बहुत अच्छे गुरु थे। हमने तो आपको जाना है, आप हमारे गुरु हैं, और आपके ऊपर ये दोहा भी मैं कहना चाहती हूँ, गुरु गोविंद दो खड़े काके लागू पाए, बलिहारी गुरु आपनो गोविंद दियो मिलाए। तो सर, यू आर अ वंडरफुल टीचर, your communication skills, your motivational skills, and your touching of the topic in every aspect is really very, very remarkable. आपने बहुत अच्छे से जो रिसर्च प्रोसेस बताई, उसकी सारी डायमेंशंस को बताया। मुझे लगता है यहाँ पर जितने भी फैकल्टी मेंबर्स हैं वो जरूर इस बात से उनको बेनिफिट हुआ होगा। सर के लेक्चर को मैं रिपीट नहीं करूंगी, लेकिन मैं इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे थोड़ी देर के लिए बोलने के लिए और बात सारे फैकल्टी मेंबर्स के साथ साझा करूंगी। सबसे पहले तो मैं ये बात मान के चलती हूँ कि जो व्यक्ति ज्ञानी है, जो विद्वान है, उसकी हर जगह पूजा होती है। विद्वता का कोई सब्स्टिट्यूट नहीं है, और जो एक टीचर है उसको थ्रू आउट अपनी लाइफ एक स्टूडेंट मोड में रहना चाहिए, एक लर्निंग प्रोसेस के मोड में रहना चाहिए। मैं ना केवल इस बात को मानती हूँ, बल्कि ये बात मेरे अपने व्यवहार में भी परिलक्षित होती है। मैंने ऐसा देखा है कि जो टीचर्स, जो हम परमानेंट टीचर्स हैं, जो पीएचडी कर लेते हैं, उसके बाद डिग्री लेने के बाद हम फर्दर रिसर्च वर्क में कोई अपना एंथ्यू, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं दिखाते। हमें ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, क्योंकि आज के समय में मैं मानती हूँ, सर ने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा कि रिसर्च और टीचिंग आपस में कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री है। तो हमें अपनी रिसर्च प्रोसेस को आगे ले जाते रहना चाहिए। ऐसी कोई भी बात जो हमारे दिल के करीब हो, जहां हम सोसाइटी को कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकें, हमें जरूर लिखनी चाहिए। अब हम लिखेंगे कब? जब हम पढ़ेंगे, क्योंकि किसी भी मेंटल फैकल्टी को डेवलप करने के 3 पिलर्स होते हैं: बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ना, बहुत ज्यादा देखना और बहुत ज्यादा सुनना। क्योंकि हम टीचर्स में पढ़ने की हैबिट आगे के बनस्बत थोड़ी कम हो गई है, इसलिए हमारी मेंटल फैकल्टीज में नए नए क्रिएटिव आइडियाज भी नहीं आते, हमारी थिंकिंग भी बहुत क्रिटिकल नहीं हो पाती, और हम उसको व्यवहारिक तौर पर परिणित भी नहीं कर पाते। तो हमें कहीं ना कहीं अपनी रीडिंग हैबिट्स को तेज करने की जरूरत है, और पूरे दिन में मुझे लगता है हमें 1-1.5 घंटा जरूर अपनी जिसको कहना चाहिए अपनी खुद की ग्रोथ के साथ हमें संलग्न होना चाहिए। जहां तक बात आती है टॉपिक को सिलेक्ट करने की या फर्दर कुछ बात करने की, तो जैसे सर ने बताया, मैं एक चीज सप्लीमेंट करना चाहूंगी। जो लोग अभी पीएचडी करने की प्रोसेस में हैं हमारे कॉलेज में भी, उनको सबसे पहले तो यूनिवर्सिटी का सिलेक्शन सही करना चाहिए, जिस यूनिवर्सिटी से वो पीएचडी में रजिस्टर होना चाहते हैं। दूसरे नंबर पे टॉपिक की बात है। आपका टॉपिक ऐसा होना चाहिए जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हो। अगर आपके टॉपिक से कोई नेशनल इशू जुड़ता हो, इंटरनेशनल इशू जुड़ता हो, कोई सोसाइटल कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात हो, तो आपका रिसर्च वर्क ज्यादा अच्छा ऑथेंटिक होता है, उसकी ज्यादा मान्यता होती है, और जर्नल्स भी आपके पेपर्स को एक्सेप्ट करते हैं। एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, हमें रिसर्च उस एरिया में करनी चाहिए जिस एरिया में हमारा एक्सपर्टीज हो, हमारा दिल लगता हो, क्योंकि जिस काम में हमारा मन और दिमाग नहीं लगता, उस काम में बहुत अच्छे रिजल्ट्स भी नहीं आ सकते। अगर हम टीचिंग के पूरे सिनेरियो को देखें, तो उसके अंदर इस समय सुनने में आता है कि जो हमारी ह्यूमन रिसोर्स मिनिस्ट्री है, उसने 2021 में जो लोग पीएचडी नहीं हैं, उन्हें हायर एजुकेशन में फर्दर जो वो सर्व नहीं कर पाएंगे, ऐसी कई सारी नोटिफिकेशंस आ रही हैं। इसके चलते भी बहुत लोग जल्दी जल्दी पीएचडी की डिग्रीज ले रहे हैं, पीएचडीज कर रहे हैं। पर यहाँ पे मैं फिर कहना चाहूंगी कि हमारा पीएचडी का जो वर्क है वो अपने आप में बहुत कंक्रीट और अच्छा होना चाहिए। हमारा काम ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसको हम खुद भी किसी प्लेटफॉर्म पे जस्टिफाई कर सकें कि हमारा लिटरेचर रिव्यू हमने कैसे किया, हमारे गैप्स क्या थे, हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या थे, हमारी मेथोडोलॉजी क्या थी, निकल के क्या क्या उसके अंदर से आया, क्या हमारी फाइंडिंग्स रही, और फर्दर रिसर्चर इस फील्ड में और क्या कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि अगर वर्क जेन्युइन होता है, आपने खुद किया होता है, तो आप किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे उसको बहुत अच्छे से बता सकते हैं। पर मुझे लगता है कि ये जो रिसर्च की प्रोसेस है जो सर ने आज बताई है, इससे ना केवल बिगिनर्स को बल्कि हमारे जैसे लोगों को भी जिन्होंने पीएचडी की है उनको भी बहुत फायदा हुआ है। और सर को तो सुनना हमेशा से ही बहुत अच्छा लगता है, और सर की जो ओरेटरी स्किल्स हैं किसी भी टॉपिक को कहने की, वो बहुत ही उम्दा हैं, क्योंकि वो सारी ऑडियंस को बांधे रखती हैं। और इस समय हमारे डीएवी कॉलेज में जो 95 टीचर्स जो परमानेंट और एसएफएस के हैं, उन्होंने इस लेक्चर को सुना, वो मेरी इस बात से इत्तेफाक करेंगे कि सर ने हमें बहुत अच्छे से एक एक स्टेप को बताया और समय का तो पता ही नहीं चला कि कब इतना समय बीत गया। सर आपका बहुत बहुत थैंक्स है। और SFS की जितनी भी हमारी फैकल्टी है उसमें बहुत लोगों ने रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया है, कुछ लोगों की PhD भी कंप्लीट हुई है, वो सारे लोग भी बधाई के पात्र हैं। और कुछ ऐसा भी करेंगे कि कॉलेज में हम कभी बैठकर जिनकी रिसेंट PhD हुई है उनकी प्रेजेंटेशंस दिला के भी लोगों को कहीं ना कहीं बेनिफिट पहुंचाने का प्रयास करेंगे। लाइफ एक लर्निंग प्रोसेस है, सीखने का नाम है, और एक टीचर भी इस लर्निंग प्रोसेस के दौरान बहुत कुछ सीखता है। आपको जो भी नॉलेज है, जो भी आपको नई बातें पता चलती हैं, क्योंकि कॉमर्स के सब्जेक्ट में थ्योरेटिकल जो बैकग्राउंड है वो ज्यादा है। जैसे आज मैंने बीकॉम सेकेंड ईयर के बच्चों को कहा कि लास्ट के 5 मिनट मैं डेली आपको म्यूचुअल फंड्स के कॉन्सेप्ट्स के बारे में बताऊंगी, लेकिन अगर म्यूचुअल फंड्स के लेटेस्ट अपडेट्स मेरे पास नहीं होंगे, जैसे अभी 2021 में सेबी की गाइडलाइन आई है कि जितने भी फंड मैनेजर हैं उनको अब कोई ऐसी फ्रीडम नहीं है कि वो किसी भी फंड के अंदर इन्वेस्ट कर दें। उन्हें 25% लार्ज कैप, 25% मिड कैप, 25% स्मॉल कैप में इन्वेस्ट करना जरूरी है। तो जब तक आप अपडेटेड नहीं होंगे, आप अवेयर नहीं होंगे, आपकी नॉलेज अपडेटेड नहीं होगी, तब तक आप बीइंग अ टीचर भी कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं हो पाएंगे। तो आइए हम सब मिलकर इस लर्निंग प्रोसेस को शुरू करें। डॉक्टर सविता भगत की एकेडमिक्स को लेकर बहुत सीरियसनेस है, ये बात मुझे उनकी बहुत अच्छी लगती है। वो ना केवल खुद ग्रो करना चाहती हैं बल्कि पूरी फैकल्टी को चाहती हैं कि वो बहुत अच्छे से ग्रो करे। तो मुझे लगता है इस कड़ी में आज का जो लेक्चर रिस्पेक्टेड मेरे टीचर प्रोफेसर विनायक का रहा, उससे इस FDP का एक बहुत सुंदर आगाज DAV कॉलेज के प्रांगण में हुआ। चाहे ये ऑनलाइन रहा, लेकिन सर हम सब इससे बहुत बेनिफिशियल रहे। थैंक यू सो मच आपकी ब्लेसिंग्स के लिए, आपकी गुड विशेस के लिए और आपके लेक्चर के लिए। आई होप सबने जरूर एंजॉय किया होगा। और श्री मुकेश बांसल जी जो कोऑर्डिनेटर हैं, ये भी बहुत बधाई के पात्र हैं आज के इस IQAC के फर्स्ट हमारी ऑनलाइन FDP के लिए। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ अपने माइक बिंदु मैम को देना चाहती हूँ। हाँ, एक चीज और, जितने भी टीचर्स हैं, जैसे कंप्यूटर के हैं, मैनेजमेंट के हैं, कॉमर्स के हैं, ऐसा मैं मानती हूँ कि रिसर्च में मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी जो एस्पेक्ट है वो आजकल बहुत पॉपुलर है। जैसे कॉमर्स इन कोलैबोरेशन विद से कंप्यूटर टेक्नोलॉजी, बहुत अच्छे रिसर्च पेपर्स निकल के आते हैं। तो आपस में भी रिसर्च पब्लिकेशंस के लिए कोलैबोरेट कीजिए। मैं विनायक सर को बताना चाहूंगी कि मैंने अपने कॉलेज में, हम 11-12 टीचर्स हैं, हम मिलकर रिसर्च प्रोसेस को हमने स्टार्ट किया है। हम रिसर्च के अंदर अच्छी पब्लिकेशन स्कोपस में हो, ABDC लिस्ट ऑफ जनरल में हो, उस प्रक्रिया की तरफ सर आपकी ब्लेसिंग से बढ़ रहे हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि जब हम कोलैबोरेटिव एफर्ट के साथ चलते हैं, ग्रुप एफर्ट के साथ चलते हैं, तो हम एक दूसरे की एक्सपर्टीज का भी फायदा उठाते हैं, क्योंकि नॉलेज तो लेने और देने का म्यूचुअल नाम है। टीचर वही है जो अपनी नॉलेज को स्प्रेड करे, लोगों तक लेकर जाए, और तभी हमारी जो कलेक्टिव ग्रोथ है वो पॉसिबल हो सकती है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू वेरी मच अर्चना जी, सविता जी, डॉक्टर सविता भगत जी, नमस्कार, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आप सबको देख के बहुत अच्छा लगता है। और ये तकरीबन 10-11 महीने हो गए हैं कि ऑनलाइन ही देख पाते हैं हम, फेसबुक पर या इस तरह के प्लेटफॉर्म्स के ऊपर। और सभी टीचर्स, आई एम एक्सट्रीमली थैंकफुल टू ऑल ऑफ यू दैट यू हैव गिवन मी एन अपॉर्चुनिटी टू इंटरेक्ट। लेकिन मजा तो वो फेस टू फेस का ही आता है, ऑनलाइन में नहीं आता। थैंक यू
thank you so much sir, thank you Archana ma'am. It's a very truly said ki our principal Dr. Savita Bhagat ma'am always motivate and guide us to improve and to enhance the quality of teaching for the interest of our students. It's a very truly said. So now I invite Dr. Savita Bhagat ma'am to thank everyone. Mic over to Dr. Savita Bhagat ma'am.
Thank you, Bindu ji. My work has been done already by Archana Bhatia ma'am also, but I on my part will also be failing in my duty if I don't express my thanks to Dr. Vinayak, whom we always consider a part of our family. He was also saying, and we also consider like that. He knows this college and each one of us like the back of his hand. So we always look forward to your guidance, mentorship, and words of wisdom for moving ahead in this college. And everybody knows that he is an esteemed member of college IQAC also. So many of our teachers like Archana Bhatia has been guided by him for their doctorate degree also. So we are extremely thankful to you for delivering an exhaustive talk on research and its relevance and the way to go about it. Teacher training and motivation and on research, basically, this can never be overemphasized. Time and again, I keep on, getting requests from teachers that, ma'am, please arrange some lectures on the relevance of research and how to go about it. This need is perennial. Research is, since it is very technical thing and systematic, you have to go about it. And this is a scientific process. So there is always a need for skilling and empowering teachers. So to all the participants, my only humble advice and suggestion is, if you are fond of reading and if you are sensitive to the overall social, economic, political environment, national as well as international, and the changes which are regularly happening all around, you will find many topics which need to be researched. Try to be creative and innovative in the selection of research papers. And these days, what I have observed, that instead of using some complicated models which all of us find difficult to handle, we can start using some qualitative research methods also. And as Archana ma'am was saying, and sir has also emphasized, that collaborative and interdisciplinary research projects, they are going to be more fruitful in future. The world is, we all know, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous, but we have to find our way to move forward. Research can show you, and interdisciplinary research definitely can show you, that we are unified and we are united, not only on the spiritual front, but in research also. Economy, commerce, management, computers, everything is happening or working in a society and in a political framework. So the importance for interdisciplinary research is going to increase in future also. So much has been said by the respected keynote speaker on the topic, and along with Archana ma'am, that there is not much scope for me to say, but I express once again my profuse thanks to esteemed sir, who has qualities of both head and heart. Sir, आपको मैं अभी जो कह रही थी, you know all of us like the back of your hand. मैं Facebook पे देखती हूँ, you keep on sending your messages of on birthdays and anniversaries to each one of us also. कई बार मुझे नहीं पता होता है मेरे स्टाफ मेंबर में किसी का बर्थडे है. When I see your wishes, then I also send my wishes also. तो बहुत बहुत thanks आपका for sparing your valuable time, and my thanks to Shri Mukesh Bansal ji also for organizing this teacher training program for the benefit of teachers under the IQAC cell. And sincere thanks to Archana Bhatia ji also for sharing her valuable views with us. She's very sincere and dedicated about research and teaching. She has published so many books and number of research papers in good journals. और अब ये सुन के और भी अच्छा लगा है कि उन्होंने अपना एक टीम बनाई है, and she's guiding and motivating the younger staff to write for good journals. So ultimately, thanks to the whole organizing team led by Ma'am Bindu, Ritu Khera, Rajni, Sumant Taneja, and all others whose names I might have forgotten. Or thanks to the IT cell also. Dinesh ji सारी हमारी support करते हैं whenever we have such interactions on online digital platform. Thank you, thanks to all of you. And tomorrow again, see you all same time and with a new topic, and with great enthusiasm. I would expect that everybody is going to participate tomorrow also. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much.